So good morning. My name is Karen Bossi, and I'm running for a seat on the Rutland School Board Board of Commissioners. I have resided in Rutland County all my life, most of it in Rutland City. For a period of time, I did live in Rutland Town. I am married and have two adult daughters. One is a teacher at Rutland High School, and my other daughter lives out of state. I have been very involved during my past lifetime with children, and I am very concerned about the education of our children and their safety. When I lived in Rutland Town, I did serve on the Recreation Committee for 8 years, approximately 8 years. I was chairman for several of those years. I was also the first woman elected to the Rutland Town Select Board. And when I moved, I left that board when we moved back into Rutland City. I have also served on the Board of Aldermen for Rutland City. As far as my work experience, I worked for 20 years at the Rutland Police Department, and I just finished 24 years with the State of Vermont Office of Child Support. So in all of those jobs in my past experience, I have been looking out for children and trying to provide recreation and opportunities. I started attending the Rutland City School Board meetings and became very disturbed at how dysfunctional they had become, which is what prompted me to run for the school board. I'm also very concerned. I have two grandchildren who attend Rutland High School, and I have been shown videos on TikTok of the fights that seem to be a daily occurrence at our high school. This is not appropriate. We need to fix the problems, and I think we have to stop blaming the pandemic for everything. I understand that students have had a rough time, but we should not be tolerating behaviors that were not tolerated pre-pandemic. It's time to move on and get our students back on track. It's my understanding students are coming into Rutland High School ill-prepared, and then they're ill-prepared for college or to go out in the workforce. And we need to fix that. We need to really work on those. And I think people need to set aside their own personal agendas and focus on the education of our children. They are our future. And just to go back a bit, I also read the law with the state of Vermont where you can work under an attorney for 4 years, and if you pass the bar exam, then you become an attorney. I did pass the Vermont bar exam, but I did not pass the multi-state. And at that time is when I became regional manager at the Office of Child Support. So as I said, my focus would be on getting back to the basics, making sure our kids are prepared to go into high school. I'm aware of many problems, behavioral and other, at the middle school. I've had people, say they've left Rutland City. People will move into areas where the schools are good, and that's what we need to do. We need to get our schools back in order. And that's what I would strive for, is to make the board more civil to each other and to the public. I did not feel really welcomed when I went to the school board meetings, and I think that needs to change. We need to encourage people to become involved. We need to listen to our teachers. They are the ones that are in the schools day in and day out. We need to support them. And just to go back to the safety issue, if the teachers do not feel safe in the schools because of this behavior, and they feel not supported, then they're going to either leave or they're not going to continue to strive to be the best teachers they can possibly be. And I think we have a number of outstanding teachers, and we need to provide them with support. And when a teacher tells a student something, there needs to be follow-up to that if the child doesn't respond. So we need to look at alternatives for, if a student can't get along in the regular school. I mean, it has become a real safety concern. We don't need that in Rutland City. We're a community that, where people are friendly and they know each other, and we need to make sure that our schools are the best that they can possibly be. So I would work, as I said, for the board to join together and be more focused, move on from the past issues and the past anger, and work for the children and for the taxpayers. I'm also concerned about fiscal responsibility. We need to make sure that, what we budget for the schools is appropriate. We're also a town or a city where many of the outlying towns send their high school students to Rutland City. We need to make them welcomed and also listen to their concerns. So I think that is a major strong suit that I have, is I am willing to listen to anyone, and also to consider different alternatives or suggestions. And I would welcome people to come to the school board and make sure that they're given the information. For example, the last school board meeting, several policies that are being reviewed were handed out. However, there were no handouts for the public to be able to see what was being discussed. And I think that needs to change. We need to encourage involvement. We need to be transparent as a school board, and for our schools. People need to know what's going on with the schools and what's going on with the budget, what goes into all of that. So I would strive to work with any other member of the school board and listen to them, as well as listening to the teachers and the students. I think they have a lot of information and a lot of concerns, and we need to listen to that. So I have told you about myself. I would definitely encourage everyone to get out and vote on Tuesday, March 1st. You need to make sure your voice is heard and that the people you want in office are elected. This is your opportunity for that. Thank you very much for your time, and also I would like to thank PEGTV for this opportunity.